The National MS Society and Novartis created a national campaign to explore real stories about real people living with MS.
The National MS Society is launching We Keep Moving. It's a 10-week journey across America to capture those stories.
We meet documentary filmmakers Jason DaSilva and producer Kate Milliken.
This is really exciting to me because it's not a typical film or a documentary.
It's really going to chronicle the stories of people with MS.
You're actually going to be informing where we go.
There's a website called We Keep Moving. The story that you find most compelling, you vote you like that one, and you're going to send Jason, myself, and a couple people to actually profile that story.
I think it's important to tell my story on We Keep Moving.
Because I am a single mom.
People need to hear there's always hope.
I can speak from being in the lab doing the research. There is hope.
There are kids out there that are being diagnosed around my age, and I want them to realize that they can go out and make a difference too.
What has really changed for me is the sense of self you absolutely are required to tap into when you have MS, and not only physically but emotionally.
I think it's important to put a face with the disease.
People with this debilitating disease are real people.
Just because MS takes one thing away from you doesn't mean that you can not leave something else behind.
These stories were covered in a variety of formats by 3 people who have MS. Jason DaSilva hosted and blogged. Amelia Davis took photos, and I, Kate Milliken, produced the videos. All of these elements came together at wekeepmoving.org.
I was getting an animal out of a cage, and my arm completely failed me when I was getting the cat out. And I thought, that's weird.
When we started doing the testing for MS, in my mind I'm thinking, this can't be happening.
I went to the neurologist. His first words were, some people grow up at 18, some people grow up at 10. You're gonna have to grow up at 15. You're gonna grow up today.
It was actually a relief to me to be diagnosed with multiple sclerosis because I knew what was wrong with me. It gave me a foe to be able to fight.
Multiple sclerosis affects more than 400,000 people in the U.S. For every person living with MS, there is a compelling story.
What was going on with me when we were first starting is that my symptoms were getting worse pretty fast. I even talked to my mom, well, you're going to get worse by taking these trips. And yeah, but it'd probably get worse at home just the same. I don't let that stop me from getting the life experiences that I want to. And in this case, meeting a lot of people with a lot of really amazing stories.
I live with MS, and stress is a huge trigger. After the second shoot, my mentor and my teacher died unexpectedly. So for me, it was the fear of having an episode. But he was so excited about me doing this project that I decided to keep moving forward in his honor.
After signing on to this project, I found out that I was pregnant. In the realm of MS, they always say, when you get pregnant, it's such a great time for someone with MS because all your symptoms dissipate. Being on the road relentlessly and not getting a lot of sleep and working really hard, I would say pregnancy has really prevented me from getting into any sort of danger zone. I feel really grateful to that. All of us in the We Keep Moving crew had such a privilege of going in and infiltrating for a full 12 hours into someone's existence.
From the time I was diagnosed, I wanted to raise as much money as possible for MS. I went to the walk and I made everyone I know come with me and support through it, and they loved it. I raised over $75,000 towards MS research. It's the best feeling to go out and make a difference.
I'd done quite a bit of research on the benefits of standing, and I thought, why can't we make a standing box? He successfully accomplished something that he really wasn't sure he could do.
I was never an athlete. I was like the little scrawny kid that never got picked for a team. Now the big thing is I want to make the air rifle team for the 2016 Paralympics. I'm also training for the National Disabled Veterans Wheelchair Games in July, and I'll be competing in air rifle and in 3 swimming events.
The one thing that I did see across all these different people is a strong sense of resilience.
MS is a nightmare, and MS is a beast. That being said, the way I choose to deal with it is with humor and with an upbeat attitude to try to make lemonade from lemons.
I have used my MS diagnosis not as an excuse for any failures, but as a motivator for all of my successes. It's only made me stronger and more determined.
Before my diagnosis, I was pre-med, so I actually switched over to biochemistry because I didn't think I could be a medical doctor, and probably one of the best choices of my life because I found I loved science.
MS was able to bring love to me. It was able to bring Mike into my life.
I see everything in a different way. It's like I went to the optometrist and finally got the right prescription of glasses so that I could see life and what's really important in life.
I came away with a whole different definition of grace. Even when watching the uncomfortable moments and the times that were physically awkward and especially difficult for me to watch as somebody who has MS, the grace that these people shared in the moments of their own personal journeys is what unites them as a group of extraordinary individuals who keep fighting to live life to the fullest.